All right, as we continue the special edition of Hannity following those horrific shootings at that Florida high school on Wednesday, law enforcement reminded the public that if you see something, say something. But today it was revealed that last month the FBI failed to act on such a tip. According to a statement from the FBI, a person close to Nicholas Cruz contacted the Bureau's tip line in January 5th, and provided, quote, information about Cruz's gun ownership, a desire to kill people, erratic behavior, and disturbing social media posts, as well as the potential of him conducting a school shooting. Following the tip, the FBI failed to investigate this information. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, responded to the news saying, quote, I am committed to getting to the bottom of what happened in this particular matter, as well as reviewing our processes for responding to information that we received from the public. Florida Governor Rick Scott is now calling on Director Wray to resign. The Attorney General has ordered an immediate review of the process at the Department of Justice and the FBI, and Marco Rubio is asking for the same. Here with reaction, the host of Justice, Judge Jeanine Pirro. I understand everybody's busy. I understand that mistakes can be made. This costs lives. There's no other way to put it.
Sean, this is beyond the pale. Look, when I was a DA, I worked with the FBI. Let me tell you something about the FBI. What we're seeing now in the segments that you just completed about, investigating Russian collusion and creating documents for warrants that are not legitimate. This is the kind of thing that we're used to hearing about, where the FBI is focused on headlines and focused on things that really don't affect ordinary Americans. Now, the rank and file, they do their job and they're fantastic.
It never got to the Miami field office, Judge. Never.
Exactly. When someone says, I've got information on a kid who's got a bunch of guns, who's about to shoot up a school, who says, I am going to be a professional school shooter. I don't care if you're the FBI or from Podunk. You put on your instincts and your antennas and you say, let me try to find out who Nicolas Cage is. Sean, how many people with the name Cruz have the first name Nicholas? How many people with the name Cruz have Nicholas that's spelled with a K? There are 13 in the whole nation. I had a database as a DA. I could get this information. And the FBI was too... Look, Sean.
But remember, you had the other guy, too. And that actually got a screenshot of him saying, I want to be a professional school shooter.
Right, and the person in Louisiana didn't bother to do anything. They didn't have the wherewithal as a real cop to figure out what you've got to do. The complaint in January is a perfect example of what happens in the FBI. They do not link up with local law enforcement. Sean, I know it. I've seen it for 30 years. That's why we had 9/11.
Let me ask you this.
The FBI didn't talk to the CIA, and then we had 3,000 people dead. The FBI should focus on what their job is and what they should be doing as opposed to looking for headlines.
Let's go to today's news, today's indictment. I think the thing that annoys me more than anything else is people like, well, the Russians tried to influence the election. Well, we've been telling everybody about what the Russians did with Uranium One. We've been talking about Hillary's bought and paid for dossier. Nobody in the media is covering any of those stories. We have evidence and facts in those cases, and we knew about Facebook, we knew about Google. We've known this. It started in 2014.
It started in 2014, this Russian so-called
interference. Maybe.
And I'm sure it started even before then. But here's the real crime. The real crime is Hillary Clinton making $145 million, her husband pocketing $500,000 in cash for the sale of 20% of our uranium. And the real crime is, you look at Rod Rosenstein. Hey, he's in front of the cameras today. Why? Sean, this press conference was put together on 45 minutes notice. Why? Because they wanted to cover up or overshadow what we found out from the FBI. And where was Rod Rosenstein with the indictment having to do with Russia trying to do everything they can to get our uranium?
I look at Mueller's team, Obama donors, Clinton donors, DNC donors, nobody likes Trump. And then you look at a guy like Andrew Weissman, 9-0 Supreme Court, people go to jail for a year, tens of thousands lose their job, he's the pit bull. And I want to know why Robert Mueller appointed that man and the rest of these DNC donors and Trump haters.
Because Robert Mueller is not looking for an objective team. Robert Mueller is looking for people with an agenda against Donald Trump. Robert Mueller is the person who should be being investigated, given the fact that he was the head of the FBI when this attempt to find our uranium started in 2009.
He had an informant. That's the
right.
Great point.
He knew all about it, and yet he's investigating Donald Trump. He should be the one who's being investigated. He was the one who knew what was going on, why and how they were trying to get our uranium, and yet now he's looking to create a problem with Donald Trump. You know what I think, Sean? We should stop talking about Russian collusion, because it's a bunch of hogwash.
They're not
and when
talking
they
about
put
it
their
anymore.
evidence where their mouth is, maybe then we'll talk about it.
All right, Judge. Always good commentary. And by the way, don't miss the judge tomorrow night. Tune in for Justice with Judge Jeanine Pirro. All right, when we come back, the liberal media, they have done a great disservice to you, the American people. They're not digging for the truth. They don't want the truth. They've got an agenda. You know who knows? Sean Spicer. He'll explain next.